This is the Golden Gate. It's the east gate. It's known as the Mercy Gate to Jerusalem. As you can tell, it's been sealed up for a long, long time. This is the Golden Gate. It's the east gate. It's known as the Mercy Gate to Jerusalem. As you can tell, it's been sealed up for a long, long time.
Behold the Golden Gate, Jerusalem's eastern threshold, long revered as the Mercy Gate. For centuries, it has stood sealed, untouched, a silent sentinel against time itself. Yet now, something stirs, not by human hands, not by chance, but by a force that feels otherworldly. For generations, believers across Judaism and Christianity have seen this gate as central to prophecy. Pilgrims now gather not simply as tourists, but as witnesses to what many fear or hope could be the beginning of fulfillment. Unlike other entrances to the Old City, which have been rebuilt or altered, the Golden Gate has resisted every attempt to change it, surviving empires, wars, and centuries of destruction. Its endurance has transformed it from a mere structure into a symbol of divine timing, waiting for an appointed hour rather than human intervention. It directly faces the Mount of Olives, where prophecy says the Messiah will appear. In Jewish belief, their Redeemer will enter through it. In Christianity, Jesus is expected to cross its threshold. Two great faiths, bound by one extraordinary expectation, hold their breath before the same gate. And now, cracks appear. The silence of centuries is breaking. Could this be the first tremor of something far greater about to unfold? Before we continue, make sure to like this video so more people can discover these powerful stories of prophecy and history. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss our latest deep dives into the mysteries and beyond. Something is stirring in prophetic circles, unlike anything seen for centuries. After 500 years of silence, the sealed gate of Jerusalem has begun to draw attention once more. Local witnesses whisper of strange activity. Religious leaders slip into private meetings, and perhaps most telling of all, the mainstream press says nothing. Because when prophecy awakens, it rarely comes with headlines. It moves in whispers, in subtle signs, noticed only by those who are watching. Reports now suggest that hidden chambers within the gate have been quietly reopened. No announcements, no ceremonies, just a secretive stirring that leaves both believers and skeptics uneasy. If the ancient prophecies are true, this is not just history repeating itself. It could be the beginning of something apocalyptic. To understand why, we must return to the year 1541. Suleiman the Magnificent, ruler of the Ottoman Empire, did not seal the Golden Gate on a whim. Newly uncovered records reveal he was haunted by recurring dreams. A mysterious figure approaching from the Mount of Olives, entering through the Eastern Gate, and transforming Jerusalem forever. Disturbed, he consulted Jewish rabbis, Christian priests, and Islamic scholars. To his shock, they all pointed to the same conclusion: I am done. This gate was bound to the end of days. Its opening would mark events of cosmic significance. So Suleiman acted. He bricked it shut, as if he could lock away prophecy itself. And then he went further. He ordered a Muslim cemetery built directly before the gate, creating a double barrier. For Jewish priests, the graves meant ritual impurity, blocking their approach. For others, the graves carried an even greater weight. When the Messiah came, he would have to raise the dead to pass through. What Suleiman intended as prevention may have been preparation. What he built as an obstacle may have been woven into the divine plan. I am. For prophecy often turns resistance into its stage. Here lies the profound twist. By placing those graves before the gate, Suleiman may have set the ultimate test of Messianic authority. Only one with power over life and death could enter. Only one who commands resurrection itself could claim this passage. The Sultan, who thought he could silence prophecy, may have scripted its most dramatic fulfillment. 2,000 years earlier, Jesus had already chosen this path. From the Mount of Olives, riding a donkey, he entered through the eastern gate. None of it was coincidence. It was prophecy unfolding with precision. Centuries before, Zechariah had written, "Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Your king is coming to you, humble and riding on a donkey." That prophecy was fulfilled in his first coming. But Zechariah's vision did not end there. Zechariah 14:4 looks ahead to his return. On that day his feet will stand on the Mount of Olives, facing Jerusalem on the east, and the Mount of Olives will be split in two. The same mountain, the same direction, the same gate. But this time, not as a humble servant, rather as the conquering king, whose very footsteps split mountains. The gate that once welcomed the Prince of Peace will one day welcome the King of Kings. The threshold that received the sacrificial lamb will one day receive the Lion of Judah. Same stage, same setting, any tutu, but a completely different kind of entrance. Now you can see why every attempt to alter or reopen this gate has mysteriously failed. This isn't just an ancient wall. It's heaven's appointed doorway for the most important arrival in human history. Consider the record. In 1917, Muslim leaders planned to demolish the Eastern Gate. That very day, British forces captured Jerusalem, stopping the destruction in its tracks. In 1967, during the Six-Day War, Israeli forces gained control of the gate and considered reopening it. A rabbi intervened, warning that only the Messiah may enter. The plan was dropped. In 1993, peace negotiators decided to symbolically open the gate as a gesture of reconciliation. But the night before the ceremony, both Israeli and Palestinian leaders reported having the same dream. A figure standing at the gate, shaking his head, saying, "Not yet, not by your hands." The event was abruptly cancelled. For prophetic watchers, these moments are chilling. These weren't ordinary political reversals or technical issues. It's as if unseen wisdom was steering leaders away from interfering. And it doesn't stop there. Ottoman engineers once tried to alter the gate's structure. Their tools mysteriously failed. British archaeologists began excavating near the foundations, only to be suddenly reassigned without explanation. Jordanian forces even considered using it as a military stronghold in 1948, but the plan was abandoned. Time and again, every attempt has been blocked, diverted, or dissolved into thin air. Not by coincidence, but by design. Because this gate is not just a stone in history, it is a doorway reserved for destiny. Every attempt to tamper with the Golden Gate has ended the same way: failure. Drill bits snap, explosives misfire. It's as if the gate itself refuses interference, guarded by something greater than human strength, holding it in place until its appointed prophetic moment arrives. Look closely at Jerusalem's old city, and you'll see the marks of age everywhere. Weathering, erosion, the natural decay of centuries. Yet, the Golden Gate seems different. Stonemasons who have examined it describe its preservation as unnatural, even impossible. It's as if time itself slows down around this sacred threshold. Then came 2019. During Ramadan, a maintenance worker reported something no one expected. Voices, prayers, echoing from inside the sealed chambers. Yet those chambers have been closed for centuries. Security cameras, which monitor every inch of the Temple Mount, mysteriously failed, only in the area around the Golden Gate. At the very moment the voices were heard, the footage vanished. There is no official record of what happened. Still, a handful of grainy photographs surfaced. They show a strange flickering light inside the sealed chambers, easy a light with no natural source. Witnesses described it as pulsing, almost like a heartbeat radiating from within. Religious authorities from Judaism, Christianity, and Islam were quietly consulted. None offered a public statement. Instead, each requested that the images be kept private. Whatever they saw, whatever they believed it meant, they chose silence. What's most striking isn't just the activity itself, it's the response. Normally, any unusual incident around the Temple Mount sparks immediate investigations, press releases, and even international headlines. But this time, absolute silence. No acknowledgement, no explanations, not even a denial, just an official wall of silence. And sometimes, silence speaks louder than words. Because prophecy doesn't arrive like breaking news. It doesn't announce itself with headlines and sirens. It moves quietly, through patterns that look like coincidences but aren't. Through dreams given to different people at the same time. Through ancient scriptures suddenly revealing fresh meaning. Jesus himself warned that his return would be like the days of Noah. Life moving along as usual. Right up until the moment everything changes. The inner chambers of the Golden Gate are said to be open, while the outer chambers remain sealed. The gate remains silent, yet the signs have begun to appear. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because the story is only just beginning. Let's consider the same principle repeated here. First comes the hidden awakening, then the visible manifestation. First, the quiet preparation, then the public revelation. First, the whisper, then the shout. What stirs within the Golden Gate may be the spiritual groundwork for a fulfillment yet to come, and those who are watching closely can already sense it. Religious leaders speak of unusual activity around the Temple Mount. More people report prophetic dreams centered on Jerusalem. Signs in nature grow harder to dismiss, and world events are aligning with ancient prophecies in ways too precise to ignore. For 5 centuries, the silence of the gate has been its sermon. Its sealed stones have preached patience and divine timing. But now, that silence is shifting. The stillness is stirring. And the truth is, the gate doesn't need to swing wide to speak. Its smallest tremor sends shockwaves through prophetic circles. The Golden Gate and the Mount of Olives stand face to face, perfectly aligned, like a mirror of prophecy, waiting for heaven's timing to become earth's reality. From the gate, your eyes fall directly on the Mount of Olives. From the mount, you look straight back to the gate. No other place in Jerusalem shares this mirror-like vantage point. What makes this alignment even more extraordinary lies beneath the surface. Both the gate and the mountain rest on the same continuous limestone bedrock, geologically connected. When the prophet Zechariah declared that the Mount of Olives would one day split in two, he wasn't speaking in metaphor. He was describing an event that would shake the very foundations linking these sacred sites. Modern science now confirms what prophecy declared long ago. An active fault line runs beneath the Mount of Olives, stretching toward the Golden Gate. In recent years, seismologists have recorded unusual microtremors along this fault, tiny vibrations that defy normal tectonic explanations. And that matters, because Jerusalem is no ordinary city. It appears in biblical prophecy more than 800 times, more than any other place on earth. Most of those references point not to its past, but to its future. At the center of those visions stands the Golden Gate, not just a historical entrance, but a threshold between this present age and the age to come. A doorway of destiny, awaiting its appointed hour. Today, the signs read less like coincidence and more like a prophetic checklist. The Sanhedrin has been re-established. Temple vessels have been recreated. Red heifer candidates are being raised. The Jewish calendar approaches key prophetic markers. Global politics are aligning in ways that echo ancient scripture. And through it all, the Golden Gate remains sealed, yet stirring, watching and waiting for the moment when preparation becomes fulfillment. For Jews, this is the gate through which their Messiah will restore Israel. For Christians, it is the threshold through which Jesus will return in his second coming. For Muslims, it is Bab al-Ra, Saya, the gate of mercy, a place of deep spiritual significance. 3 great faiths, 3 perspectives, 3 names, yet all bound to the same hope. And perhaps the most revealing name is the Hebrew, Sha'ar HaRachamim, the gate of mercy. Not wrath, not destruction, mercy. When it opens, prophecy suggests it will not unleash chaos, but bring divine compassion at humanity's darkest hour. In recent years, something remarkable has begun to happen. Interfaith meetings in Jerusalem have quietly included discussions about this very gate. Rabbis, Christian pastors, and Islamic scholars sitting together, all sensing that something significant is drawing near. They may not agree on who will walk through it, but they all feel that the waiting is almost over. That shared awareness is itself prophetic. Leaders from three of the world's largest religions arriving at the same conclusion, about the same location, at the same time. And history has proven one thing: no empire has ever succeeded in destroying this gate. No ruler who tried to control it remained in power. Every attempt to open it prematurely has been blocked, not by human hands, but by a higher hand. Because this gate does not belong to kings or governments. It belongs to prophecy itself. For 2,000 years, it has stood as a monument of waiting, a testimony to divine timing, a physical reminder that God's promises may feel delayed, but they are never denied. Every day it remains sealed is another day of mercy extended to humanity. Every passing year adds another layer to the sermon. Its silence preaches that prophecy will be fulfilled in God's perfect time. Its silence has preached louder than any sermon about God's sovereignty. Its resistance to human interference has been declared more strongly than any theology that some doors can only be opened by the one who holds the keys. Prophecy, though, is never rushed. It is patient, precise, and unstoppable. What prophecy declares, prophecy fulfills, not on our schedules, but on God's, which is always perfect. The gate that has stood sealed for centuries is beginning to stir. It does not open like an ordinary door. It awakens like a living prophecy. Bricks cannot bar it. Stones cannot contain it. Even graves laid before it cannot prevent it. When God ordains something, creation itself shifts to make it happen. And right now, the signs are converging. Seismic activity is rising along the fault line beneath the Mount of Olives. Global politics are aligning with ancient scripture. World events are unfolding exactly as Jesus warned they would in the last days. Spiritual intensity is growing around the Temple Mount. At the center of it all, the Golden Gate shows its first signs of stirring in 500 years. Something is moving in the unseen realm. The same spirit that inspired prophets to write of this gate thousands of years ago is stirring again today. The same divine hand that preserved it through empires, wars, and centuries is preparing it for its ultimate moment. The stones are shifting. The seals are straining. The silence is breaking. After half a millennium of waiting, the Golden Gate of Jerusalem is awakening from its prophetic sleep. And when it opens, when the one who holds the keys returns to step through that ancient threshold, everything changes forever. For 500 years, it has been sealed by men, but preserved by God. Not to keep the Messiah out, but to reserve the moment of his entry for maximum impact on a watching world. The countdown isn't written on clocks or calendars. The countdown is hidden in the stirring of ancient stones, waiting for the day they fulfill their ultimate purpose. Whether the world is prepared or not, the gate is awakening. Prophecies are aligning. The whispers are growing into rumbles. And when the King of Kings finally steps through that gate, the world will witness the fulfillment of the greatest promise ever made. That moment may be closer than anyone dares to imagine. What message is this sign trying to send us? This is not just about an ancient gate of stone. It is about the gate of your own heart. For centuries, the Golden Gate has stood sealed, waiting for its appointed hour. But what about you? How long has your heart remained closed, waiting for a sign, waiting for the right moment to awaken? The truth is, prophecy is not only written in Scripture or carved into Jerusalem's walls, NESA, It is written into the very fabric of our lives. And just as the gate will one day open, so too must we open ourselves to the reality of what is coming. The signs are converging. The tremors beneath the Mount of Olives, the alignments in global events, the whispers of prophecy echoing louder than ever before. All of these point to a truth we can no longer ignore. History is not random. The future is not uncertain. There is a divine hand guiding the course of nations, and that same hand is reaching for you. The question is not whether prophecy will be fulfilled. It will. The question is whether you will be awake when it happens. Too many live as though tomorrow will always be the same as today, as though the world will continue unchanged, but prophecy warns us otherwise. Just as in the days of Noah, life will seem ordinary, until the moment everything shifts. The gate will not wait for human permission. The king will not delay for human readiness. When the appointed hour comes, it will come suddenly, and the world will never be the same. So now is the time to awaken. Now is the time to prepare. Not with fear, but with faith. Not with panic, but with purpose. The sealed stones of the Golden Gate preach a sermon of patience, endurance, and divine timing. Let that message stir you. Let it remind you that God's promises are sure. His timing is perfect, and His mercy is still extended. Every day the gate remains sealed is another day of grace for you to turn, to awaken, to align your life with the one who holds the keys. The countdown is not measured in clocks or calendars. It is measured in the stirring of prophecy, in the shifting of stones, in the awakening of hearts. The Golden Gate is waiting. The world is watching. And heaven is preparing. The question is, will you be ready when the King of Kings steps through? Do not sleep through the moment history has been waiting for. Awaken now, because the gate is stirring, and so must you. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, the gates of prophecy are still open and waiting for you to explore. So please join us, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos.